Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is basically already here, so it's a great time to break down everything that the game has to offer without any spoilers other than what has been presented in official trailers and developer interviews. Whether you're on the fence about purchasing the game, desire more information, or this is your first foray into Warhammer 40k, I'm going to quickly and concisely break everything down about Space Marine 2's gameplay, which I consider to be the most important aspect of any video game. I'm Jeficus, and I love Warhammer games, so make sure to subscribe if you're a fan of them too. Anyways, Space Marine 2 is a third-person action shooter where you play as a genetically enhanced super soldier in the grimdark future of Warhammer 40,000. The game features three primary game modes: the campaign, operations, and eternal war. In the campaign, the story takes place a century after the events of the first game. Just like in the original game, you play as a seasoned Space Marine named Titus, who has been demoted from captain to lieutenant due to the events of the previous game. In the campaign, you'll fight on three planets: the jungle world of Kudaku, the planet-spanning city of Avarax, and Demirium. You're deployed to a system that is being invaded by the Tyranids, a species of insectoid xenos from beyond our galaxy. You're able to play solo or in a team of up to 3 players, and you can customize your loadout before missions, allowing you to decide how you tackle the game's various challenges. Whether you prefer to mow enemies down with a heavy bolter, or you want to get up close and personal with a thunderhammer, your playstyle is covered. You'll be able to deploy with a plethora of weapons and abilities to purge your enemies with. For me, the most exciting thing about the campaign is that Saber Interactive has stated that they've developed technology that allows them to throw hundreds of Tyranids at you in very detailed settings and capture signature moments without completely breaking your game. But the campaign is only going to run for about 12 hours, so after you've finished it, what exactly does Space Marine 2 have to offer you? Well, you're not paying $60 to $100 for just a story. The game also features cooperative and competitive multiplayer game modes in the form of Operations and Eternal War. In these game modes, you'll be able to select from one of 6 classes with unique skills, weapons, and abilities. These classes are the Tactical, Assault, Vanguard, Bulwark, Sniper, and Heavy Marines. Playing the game awards experience and armory data that will be used to progress your weapons, acquire class perks, and unlock cosmetics for your Space Marine. In Operations, you'll play through various PvE missions with a focus on cooperative gameplay. It's important to point out that as you progress in Operations, the game is able to throw tougher enemies at you in more challenging situations, as it features an AI director developed by Saber Interactive. This is comparable to the gameplay of Helldivers 2 or even Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide, which are both games that can present unpredictable and difficult situations due to the nature of the AI director. If you play enough, you'll get to the point where you memorize every type of enemy and how to deal with them, but the AI director keeps things fresh by hitting you with different combinations or even swarms of enemies at seemingly random times. What excites me the most about Operations is their replayability. Space Marine 2 is a live service game, for better or for worse, which means that Saber Interactive is going to continue to support the game with quality of life updates, new missions, and new content in general, as long as the game is successful enough. And finally, the last game mode we have to discuss is Eternal War, which is the game's competitive PvP mode. In Eternal War, you play as either Space Marines or their rivals, the Chaos Space Marines, in 6 vs 6 game modes that are going to push your knowledge of the game and your skill to the absolute limits. Although a good AI director can be hard to predict, there's nothing more unpredictable than another person, which is why I love competitive player versus player game modes. Eternal War is going to feature several rule sets to include Annihilation, or otherwise known as Team Deathmatch, Seize Ground, or Capture and Control. These rule sets are going to shake matches up and ensure that no singular class ever becomes the dominant playstyle. There are going to be classes that are better at rushing objectives, holding objectives, or just killing other players in a variety of different situations or engagement ranges. But what I'm looking forward to the most in Eternal War is the game's dedicated servers, which weren't featured in the first game. Dedicated servers should allow for much better connection in PvP lobbies, which will be a significant improvement on what we had in the original Space Marine game. That about wraps up everything you need to know about Space Marine 2's gameplay. If there's something in the game that you're excited for or even concerned over, let me know in the comments below. This has been Jeficus, and I'll see you in-game.